Welcome to Dirt Diaries, the podcast where the women of agriculture get real. From muddy boots to boardrooms, we're digging into the unfiltered stories of the FarmHers, ranchers, and every her shaping the future of ag. This isn't just shop talk, it's real talk. We're covering career paths, big wins, hard lessons, and everything in between. So whether you live it every day or you're just ag curious, pop in your earbuds and get ready. These are the raw, inspiring, and wildly relatable conversations you won't hear anywhere else. Let's dig in. Hey everyone, welcome back to Dirt Diaries. On this episode, we have Emily Jackson, Vice President of Arcadia Commodity Opportunity, to talk about the business side of the cattle industry and the unique path that led her there. Raised in Canada by a family deeply rooted in the cattle business, Emily originally pursued a career in finance before discovering her passion for cattle feeding, risk management, and commodity markets. From buying cattle across North America to navigating market volatility, technology, AI, and supply chain challenges, Emily offers an inside look at what it takes to make disciplined decisions on one of agriculture's most dynamic sectors. She also shares her experience as a woman in a traditionally male-dominated industry, the mentors who helped shape her career, and why she believes there's a place for everyone in agriculture. Whether you're involved in the cattle business or simply curious about the people behind the beef industry, this conversation is full of insight and real-world perspective. Let's do it. Let's get dirty with Emily. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Dirt Diaries. We got a really special guest on this week. Her name's Emily Jackson, and she is coming from Colorado, right, Emily? You're in Colorado right now.
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, you could be anywhere. I don't know. But you're in Colorado right now.
The great state of Colorado, yes.
Great state of Colorado. And we are going to dig in and we're going to talk about all things about you, obviously, and then your involvement with the cattle industry because it's very interesting. It's really cool. And so for our viewers, our listeners, just give them like the 30,000 foot view is what we like to say, just about who you are, where you came from, and how you ended up into the position and career that you're in today.
So I'm Emily Jackson. I think I crossed out the vice on my vice president on my business card of Arcadia Commodity Opportunity. We buy cattle from all over North America and we send them to feed yards all over the country. We don't own any actual physical feed yards. We just own the cattle in the feed yards before we sell them off to packers. We are also part of the investment group that ultimately ended up buying Five Rivers Cattle Feeding from JBS back in 2018. So we are kind of sister companies, but I do not work for Five Rivers. I work for Arcadia, but I office in the Five Rivers headquarters. My parents are from Oklahoma. My dad's always been in the cattle business. I didn't have a lot of interest in it growing up. I was, just...
You're like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be involved.
Had no interest. And then, so I actually grew up in Canada. He originally worked for Cargill, which is what took him up to Canada originally, and then we bebopped around up there. But my whole family still lives up there. I ended up going to college at Oklahoma State. Still didn't get involved in ag, even though it's a pretty big ag school. I actually was a finance major. And then my dad actually has known my current boss since I was a child. I needed an internship. He asked my boss if he needed an intern, and I ended up driving down the last half of my senior year. I interned for him, and the rest is history, really.
The rest is history. And it's so funny because our paths kind of crossed like when I worked at Superior. I don't think we ever actually got to meet in person, but we might. No. I remember like speaking to you before. And then obviously I know your boss Jordan. And so you guys have both obviously, you coming from, the background you have, and you guys have been in the cattle business for a long time. And so you've rode the waves and the roller coasters of what this industry can entail. And I always think it's fascinating, for people who are looking from the outside in about how dynamic, I should say, the cattle business and the cattle industry is, and like the various avenues you can take being involved. I
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, yeah, talk about that because again, like you have the upbringing of this industry and the understanding and the knowledge. And so I think it's funny you didn't want to be involved or a part of the
Mhm.
cattle business at all, and here you are. You're like heavily
Yeah.
involved.
So I was a finance major, like I said, and market related things always interested me, and I had no idea what side of that the cattle industry had. I mean, ultimately it's a commodity, it's traded on the futures market. I just wasn't really aware of all of that. And so then whenever I started interning, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like it is so related to markets and all the things that I find interesting. And then as the years went on, I actually got way more passionate about the cattle feeding side of things. I still do risk management type things, but we're a fully hedged program, so it's pretty like set it, forget it. If margins aren't there, we don't play. But I love the cattle feeding aspect of things, and that's where I really am passionate about it now. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and so anybody who's listening to, like, can you expand on that a little bit more? Because, as far as hedging cattle, like, what does that mean? What does that look like? Obviously, risk management, covering risks, not covering risks. Like, talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, so when we buy cattle, we're buying feeder cattle. We're trading, there is a feeder cattle contract, but that's more for like this calf stalker side of things, to mitigate that side of the risk. So when I buy the feeder cattle, I'm putting my hedge on in the live cattle futures because I'm looking towards the future. And if I can lock in that price, well, at least I know I at least have a little bit of my risk mitigated and I can lock in some margins there. And then whenever we go to sell the cattle, we just buy our live cattle future back. And a live cattle contract is 50,000. No, it's 40,000. Feeders are 50,000 pounds. So it's a load of cattle. It's a load of fat cattle. And live cattle are physically settled if they do deliver, whereas feeders are, that's just a lot of things are cash settled, but
Yeah.
so yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts that go into your job. And so what does a day-to-day look like for you? I'm sure every day is different, but a
Yeah,
normal
every
day.
day's definitely different. But at the beginning of the week, I call it my guide. It's what I send out to my buyers that are all over the country, and they're in different sale barns, and I tell them what I can pay for different weight classes, steers versus heifers, and what I can pay to different spots in the country because a Texas feed yard might have a different ration than somewhere in Nebraska, and the cattle might feed different, or there might be different quality cattle have to go to different feed yards. And so we have so much data that we've collected over the years, and so really all of our past historical data forms kind of our decision making on cattle procurement. And I think that kind of differentiates us. Like we're really disciplined on our cattle buy, and we really do rely on all of that historical data to make better buying decisions. These cattle work, these tend to not work, and so we're not going to touch those anymore. And so a lot of cattle procurement things. We have a show list every week, which is our cattle that we're showing to the packers and saying, hey, these are the cattle that we have to offer this week. And some of them go on a negotiated grid. Some of them we have supply agreements, and some of them are on the cash list. And that's where you're quite literally negotiating a price between you and the packer. And if you agree, then you sell them. And that's when we would lift those hedges that week. And then they usually go to harvest the next week. And then just like a lot of, operational things. And
Yeah.
we've been getting really into AI lately. And so trying to see what
Oh,
fun
okay.
things I can
Yeah.
do there. Yeah. So
Wait, I want to talk about that because AI is like obviously playing a role in
hot topic.
anything and
Yeah.
every industry and every business, right? How is that playing a role in what you guys do?
Yeah. I mean, we're honestly just trying to find different cool, fun things, like anything you can dream of. Like, I really wanted to be able to put in my spreadsheet of my buy order and be able to watch multiple different sales across the country because we only are in so many places, and I want like alerts like, hey, here's a hole that maybe you don't buy out of this sale barn, but maybe you can find someone and there might be something worth doing over there. Or I don't know, just so you can kind of monitor like how close to the market you are or not, which I mean lately we've been not close to the market because cattle prices are so high. But I just thought that that would be kind of fun and interesting to do. And also just like I said, we have so much data. It's fun to just put it into AI and have it analyze it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people, and I was going to use the word outsiders, and I don't mean to offend anyone that listens. They're not a part of the industry to this, but it's just interesting. There's so much technology that goes into what you guys do and the cattle business in general, the industry as a whole. Like, I don't think people generally look as like ranchers as one, businessmen, but two, like technology savvy. And it's wild because over the years and as time and seasons and life moves forward, they've had to be and they have become really tech savvy and they depend on that a lot, and they're really really knowledgeable individuals because they have to understand what's going on, right, to run their business. And so I just find it fascinating that technology, the role it plays, and how cattle buyers have really grasped onto that. So a sell barn, a live auction, obviously a video auction, a cattle producer, just, Joe down the street. You guys purchase from anyone and everywhere, given if
Oh
it
yeah.
matches.
The fun thing, because my family is also in Canada, my brother's also in the industry now too. Like I will buy Canadian cattle from my brother. We'll bring them down here, feed them at feed yards down here. We used to buy plenty of Mexican cattle before the border unfortunately shut down. We've bought cattle from Hawaii before. We will, and me personally, everything has a price to me. Like, we're not, oh, we only feed black-hided cattle or we only feed this or that. We feed Wagyus, we feed Holsteins, I'll feed Herefords. Like I'll feed it all. So, but we buy, yeah, from everywhere.
So when you're buying them, are you just buying them are you buying them on any like sort of metric system? Or are you just buying it based on price or location or all of the above or genetics or
It's
like what are you
literally
looking for?
like so we have what's called a break-even calculator.
Okay.
And so I will plug in if someone offers me a 700-pound heifer, let's say, I'll put that in. I'll put in the end date, what weight I think it's going to go out on based on what the producer has told me or the rep or whatever. I try to get as many details as possible to make better decisions as far as my projections go. And then I'll project a conversion, an average daily gain, a death loss, how much vet med will go in there. And then it'll tell me what month they come out in. And I'll plug in that live cattle futures price. And if they make money, and I'm not trying to make that much money, I'll buy them. And if not, I'll possibly give them a bid, or they can tell me, we're too far apart. But
Yeah. I mean, it's such a rush. Like
yeah,
it's not a gamble, but it's also a gamble, right? Like I don't know, you could call it also a game, but I mean, it's a business. I get that, but it's just fun. So the volatility in the cattle market has always been what it is, right? It's up, it's down, depending on corn prices, depending on fuel, depending on all the things. You guys have been able to ride that roller coaster for a long time. Talk about that and the importance of that and understanding, some years are just better than others and some years are really, really crappy.
yeah, I think people forget that at the end of the day, cattle are a literal commodity. And I think if you know the commodity markets, you know that every commodity is pretty cyclical. There's highs, there's lows, and some people really know how to weather the storm and some people don't. And I think the thing that makes Arcadia great is that we are so disciplined in our buy. And if margins are not there, I just won't buy. I'll sit on the sidelines and I don't have to fill a pen at a feed yard. Like I feel for people who have to do that because that's how you make your money. But at Arcadia, because we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have to go out and buy cattle that we ultimately think will lose money. And that's basically what cattle at today's prices are. Like at these futures prices, because we are a hedger, so I'm looking at the live cattle future market, I don't think they make money, so I'm not going to buy them. And I think that really staying true to that has really helped us weather a couple storms. And also just the fact that they are live animals, it's not like people are going to come and shut us down at a moment's notice. It's like, okay, well, you have all these animals to take care of now. But no, yeah, I think it's just being disciplined and mitigating as much risk as you can. So
Have you always been so disciplined, or have you ever found yourself in a situation where you kind of made the decision to buy and you look back and you're like, man, I probably shouldn't have done that?
um I mean, there are times, like, and especially because we are hedgers, and there's times where you maybe get caught over your skis, and especially like on a superior sale where I'm sitting there and I'm clicking
Yeah.
and things are moving really fast. Like, of course, I've definitely bought some stuff that maybe I shouldn't have, but, um, sometimes you make mistakes, and also everything's a learning experience. So it's not like one load of cattle is really gonna ruin the year or anything. So
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, well, going this direction a little bit, I think it's fascinating. Like I said, you grew up in the business, but you have taken a strong liking over the years and given everything you said, but it's a man's world. You're in a boy's business, I want to say, or it's predominantly men. What's it like to be a female in your role, and how have you seen that change with more women getting involved as time goes on?
yeah, I feel like when I first started and I was young, and also, like, on top of being a woman, just being young when you first come in,
Yeah.
you like just feel like you have to prove yourself, and especially dealing with all these men in the industry, and like being young at the time, being a woman, and like I really didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. And so I feel like I really overcompensated, like, and I felt like, if a cattle buyer pulled one over on me, like, that I had to call them and scream at them, and like, to really like get my point across. And I feel like I've really come a long way from that. And I don't like, now I just, okay, well, you don't get my money anymore. You don't get my order anymore. Like, I'll hurt you in your pocketbook, not screaming at you and getting
Yeah.
nowhere. Um, but I've really been fortunate, dealing the men that I've dealt with. I mean, I've dealt with a couple bad seeds who maybe thought that I didn't know what I was talking about, and they treat me differently, because they don't think I know what I'm talking about. And when I encounter those situations, I'm just like, do you want to start this conversation over? Like,
You're
I'm
like,
not
hey, let me
afraid.
hang up and call you back. We could rehear
Yeah, like,
this.
I'm definitely not afraid to call people out, but I've been fortunate to deal with a lot of men in the industry that are very open, and like, I'll have them ask for my opinions, which I always think is really like, I think that that's so cool that anyone would even care what I have to say or want my opinion. I've been fortunate enough to have a boss that,
Yeah.
has treats me as his equal, and we've had situations where maybe someone tries to go behind my back to go to him because he's higher up, and he's always had my back. Like, well, did you talk to Emily? And if you had, then like, what are you doing trying to talk to me? Like, she has full say, full stop. So yeah, and I think that there are a lot, like, I'm surrounded by a lot of women, and Arcadia, our CFO, is a woman. My right hand gal, she's a woman. She is on maternity leave right now. Shout out to Amber.
Shout out
And
Amber, go you.
yeah, and I sit next to a young woman who's on the risk team for Five Rivers. I don't know. I like, me personally, I'm surrounded by a lot of women, which I think
Yeah.
is amazing and cool. So
And you said it too. You have like a boss and you've been surrounded by men, and I'm sure your father and everybody else. Like, men in our industry have always been really supportive of women. So I think it's an interesting thing. It's just women haven't always been in the roles that they are today now. But I do feel like in this industry, it's pretty special in the fact that men have always been encouraging and supportive
yeah,
they didn't look at it as like a male versus a female thing. It just, the reality was more men were involved in instead of women. But it's cool to see now a lot of women getting in various roles in the industry and, taking on different responsibilities. I want to talk about the borders a little bit because of your experience. And if you're okay talking about it, just how that affects our, beef market. I know obviously the Canadian border is open, but like the Mexico border being shut, what does that mean and what does that look like?
yeah. I mean, it just ultimately a put a hole in the supply chain for our beef, and I think that, like, I think people in our industry understand that we feed Mexican cattle and Canadian cattle, but I don't think that the everyday person who goes to the grocery store understands that.
Yeah.
And I always say once the hide off, meat is meat and they get graded anyway. So there's nothing to be afraid of Mexican cattle. We've
Yeah.
had plenty of them. And really, ultimately, all it did was, I mean, that's kind of why we're in the position we're in now, right? Is we're missing supply in an already pretty depleted supply chain. And that's why prices keep going higher. And now, I fear that the borders have been shut down too long that I don't know how much of it we'll ever see back, other than we'll see it in the form of meat, other than not necessarily cattle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I actually got to go down to Chihuahua, Mexico not that long ago. And I was at a ranch out there, Las Tunas, and Miguel, we were talking about it. And it's like, it's crappy for both sides, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, we don't know, like we depended on, the border to be open for us to ship the cattle. Like, that's how we run our business. That's how you guys do business with us over there. And so it's like interesting. It's harmful for both sides. And ultimately, like you said, the supply chain is really what it ends up hurting. And I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how we go about educating like the everyday consumer on what that looks like, especially if they're complaining about the store prices.
Jordan's up for Cattle Feeder Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. Wait, I want to go back to that. So before, again, the cattle market never sleeps. So we had to take a little pause there for a second. But we were talking about how, and Kurt, like, just great Jordan is. Like, again, he's so funny to me. Like, he is a funny guy. I haven't seen him in years, haven't talked to him in years. But yeah, talk about him a little bit more. And what award is he up for? Because of course Jordan's gonna get an award.
Yeah, well, so he is up for Cattle Feeder Hall of Fame, which they do like the big award ceremony and all that at NCBA every year. And so you can go to cattlefeeders.org. Let's double check that.
You're like, I don't want to direct people in the wrong.
I know. Yeah, cattlefeeders.org.
Okay.
And you can vote for Jordan Levy.
We love that.
And nobody's more deserving, in my very biased opinion. He's just had a really cool trajectory, and I think that he's done some pretty cool things. So I think he really deserves it, and I hope that he gets it. So yeah, if anyone could take the time to go vote for him, I'd appreciate it.
Do you mind sharing a little bit about his story? Because I do. I mean, he was one of my interviews several times on Superior Sunrise that aired on RFD-TV, and I do think he has a really cool story.
Yeah, so I mean, I could probably recite it word for word by now. I've heard him talk about himself for so much, so long now. He was just a Jewish kid from the suburbs of Chicago. His dad was a used car dealer. His dad said, you can't just sit at home in the summer, you got to go get a job. So he literally started out being a runner on the CME, the Chicago Board of Trade. And then he was always into markets that way. And he got a job right out after he went to Babson. Then he went to London School of Economics. And then he got a job where he could work in metals or meats and agriculture. And he was like, oh, cool, I'll get to like be back with my friends in agriculture. But his mentor was basically like, no, you got to go boots on the ground. You got to learn about the cattle and all that. So he was out in, Panhandle of Texas trying to learn about cattle. But he says, he was at Barrett Crowfoot Feed Yard, I think, and in Hereford, Texas, and watched a feed truck drop the feed off at sunrise in the morning and watched the cattle run up to the pen, and he got the cattle bug and was just obsessed with it ever since. So,
and again, he has like the full like experience of being, on the floor, like you said, in Chicago and to now, and then having the appreciation and the affinity for the industry and the people in it. And I think that's what's made him where he is, and understanding like the business aspect so much of it, but understanding the people a part of the business, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
So again, go vote for him. He's a great guy. He's been in the industry for a long time. He's not going anywhere. So we're going to put him in at some point. So you might as well just do it now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to play some games. This one's called Break the Ice. This is pretty easy. I'm just going to ask you some random questions, and then you can give me top of your mind answers. Do you have any habits? So they could be odd, maybe not odd to you, might be odd to others, but any habits that you have?
gosh, saying "oh gosh."
Yeah.
I don't know. That
Are
feels
you
like
a
one
type
thing
A
that
person? Are you a type A person? Are you pretty a regimented person? You
not
seem really
too.
easygoing, so
Yeah, I do have a control freak side of me.
that's
And
the
I'm like,
finance side of you
if you
then.
want it done right, do it yourself, like type of person. But yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe that's your habit. But I mean,
Drinking
yeah.
coffee every single morning.
Oh, love me some coffee. I just had some a little bit ago, actually. And it's afternoon when we're recording this. Okay, do you have a hidden talent? You're really good at numbers, I bet.
I mean,
With numbers, at numbers, whatever you want to say.
well, yeah, I always loved math. Always loved it.
Wow.
Gosh, I don't know. You should have given me these before, so I had
I
time
know
to think.
they are. It's hard when you're on the spot. It's so funny when we've done this in the past. Like, it's easier to ask somebody else, like, about a person than ask the person about themselves, right?
Totally.
I always think it's funny. What is something that makes you laugh?
I mean, I have a crazy 2-year-old right now, and he makes me laugh all day, every day. I don't know where his wild personality came from, but he's just the silliest, goofiest child I've ever met in my life. So,
See, 2-year-olds, they're funny when they start getting to a certain age. Like my older sister, hers are 5 and under, and they're all so funny, and their personalities start to develop, and you just like are like, what are you even saying? But it's hilarious.
yes.
I love that. Um, One thing people may be surprised to know about you.
I mean, I would say that my family all still lives in Canada. I
Yeah,
grew
so
up in Canada.
were you born and raised in Canada?
So, we moved up there when I was 8 months old. Like, I still consider that home to me.
You
And
have
like I
dual
said,
citizenship?
no, I never
Oh.
got it.
Are you wait, are you
Um,
still or no, well, I guess you were born in the States, so never mind. Or
yeah, my brother's a Canadian citizen now. My parents they've literally just been permanent residents for like 35 years or something, 30 to
in
40 years.
Oklahoma.
No, in
Oh.
Canada.
Oh, in Canada. Oh yeah, because
Mhm.
they stayed up there. They're up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
What part of Canada are they?
Saskatchewan.
That's right. I've been to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, because I went there a part of an Angus like trip with the
Yeah,
junior
so I
Angus.
grew up in Moose Jaw.
Okay, I don't even know where that is, but all I know is the coldest I've ever been in my life is in Saskatoon.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's why I don't live there anymore. Like I cannot handle a negative 40-degree winter. It's just
And
not.
needless, I did go there in like a February, so
Yeah, no,
I'm
that's
assuming
there
that's like the
couldn't
coldest.
couldn't be a worse time to go.
Yeah, but hey, they have a lot of great cattle up there.
For definitely, yeah. They're too expensive for me to buy right now, but I love feeding a Canadian cattle.
I love that. If you could participate on one reality TV series, what would it be?
Top Chef, but like
Ooh.
on the judge's table.
I was like, "Ooh, are you a good cook?"
I want nothing more than to be a judge on a food competition.
Ooh, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah.
We've never got that one before. That's a good one. If you could only watch one movie and read one book for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Mm. Gosh, movie.
Or a TV show? Because not everybody's a movie person.
Yeah. Um, oh my gosh. See, this is another one where I'm like, okay, I need to think.
I know they're hard. Well, again, I mean, if you let your son watch TV, you're probably like, that's what you're watching right now is like
I'm like Tractor
whatever. Or
Ted.
yeah, yeah, Tractor Ted.
um,
Are you a reader?
yeah, I am.
You're reading the markets. That's what you're doing. Yeah.
No, I'm like I don't read anything too heavy. I'm just trying to like, read
Yeah,
for fun.
that's
Um,
good. That's smart.
I oh, for my book, which now it's a movie, I always recommended Project Hail Mary, but on audio specifically. Um,
Sorry,
because
it's
it's
storming behind me in Texas. I don't know if you
oh,
heard that. It was like I don't know if you heard that like thunder,
oh,
Texas weather.
yeah. Project Hail Mary on audio was just one of my all-time favorites. It
I've
The
never
guy
heard of
that
it.
read it was just like so good, and the book was so good. I just loved it.
And so is it better to read or listen to on audio book?
Listen.
Okay. Ooh,
Yes.
good to know. Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that one then.
Yeah.
Project Hail Mary. And it's a
And
movie
it,
now?
Ryan Gosling, yeah, it just came out like a couple
Oh.
months ago.
Oh, okay, even better. I'm gonna have to listen and then watch. Would you say like the book is pretty like similar to the movie or the movie similar to the book?
It is, but it's like it's a pretty long book, and so I think the movie did a good job. Um, but I'm definitely glad I read the book before watching the
Okay,
movie. Not to be
good to know.
cliche, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really good to know.
Mhm.
If you came with a warning label, what would it say?
Gosh, I that would be a funny one.
USDA choice? No.
I'm like that would be a funny one to ask my husband or
Yeah,
ask my
actually, it would be funny. Or your 2-year-old. No, I'm just, but
yeah
definitely
my
your husband.
boss like
Oh yeah,
um
or Jordan. We could be like, if Emily came with a warning label.
probably like this is one thing about being a woman in the industry, like don't call me honey, dear, like don't do it. Only certain people can do it, but
If they're like a really, really sweet little old man, fine,
yeah.
right? But like anybody else, you're like, oh gosh,
Just like
like,
in a business professional setting, it just really grinds my gears.
ugh, grinds my gears. I haven't heard that saying in a minute either. What's your go-to coffee order?
Just a drip coffee with some half and half.
There you go.
Hmm.
Who's the music artist that would have the song that would like, or the soundtrack that would describe your life?
Describe my life.
I know that one's actually kind of heavy. Do you just have a favorite like
Well,
artist
yeah,
or
I
a
mean,
song?
it's Post Malone.
Love that. Love Post
Yeah,
Malone.
I love him.
That's one of the best concerts I've seen is
Yeah,
him.
I went to him at
Right.
Mile High last
Oh,
summer. It
well, that's
was,
fun.
yeah, I don't know. His music is just so fun to me, and it always puts me in a good mood. And
He's
he's
fun
always
though.
one of my top artists on Spotify every year. Like, he's just kind of a wild card one for me. But yeah, he really just brings my mood up.
Yeah, look at you. Listen to Post Malone in the cattle business. Maybe that
Yeah.
maybe that's like the a hidden talent about you as well. Um, Actually, I like everything about Post Malone except that he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. Are you a Broncos
Well,
fan?
so is my husband.
Oh, really? Are you a Broncos fan like being in Colorado or no ties?
Well, I am because I like where I grew up, we didn't have an NFL team.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I really have no affiliation to anything. And now that I've lived here, I love rooting for Colorado teams. So yeah, I definitely root for Denver in the NFL.
Yeah. Are you guys in Colorado Springs, right? Or no? Where
No, we're up in Fort Collins.
in Fort Collins, that's where you're
Yeah,
at.
so we're just north of Denver. It's where the Colorado State University is.
Yep. So it's so pretty there. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Um,
lovely.
yeah, Fort Collins actually is so, so nice. Um, what's one place you wish you could share with everyone? Would it be somewhere in Canada? You're like Stillwater. No.
Yeah, no. Well, you're gonna like this. Steamboat, Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Well, Steamboat. Okay, so I've only been to Steamboat in the summer for the Superior Cells. I've never been in the winter. I'm sure it's magical.
Yeah, but summer's amazing too. I'm actually going over 4th of July to see Russ and Holly.
To see Russ and Holly.
We
Shout
got
out
married in
Holly. Oh,
Steamboat.
you guys did?
We really, really love Steamboat. It's just such a great place. And now we've taken our kid there, and yeah, it's such a special place to us, and I just think it's beautiful, and it is like the epitome of like Colorado ranching community around there. Five Rivers used to run some cattle on a ranch out there, and yeah, it's so pretty, and they have some
It's
great.
grown though a lot, right? Like, I mean, they are
Yeah,
expanding,
I
like
feel
there's so
like
many hotels or
any mountain town in Colorado has kind of exploded, but
yeah, well, I mean, before COVID, but COVID definitely did that. Like, I think there's a lot of New Yorkers and probably Californians too. Like, I mean, they went
yeah,
everywhere, but like they all went to those beautiful picturesque places.
Yeah, but it's just such a cute small mountain town that's kind of off the beaten path and not in that I-70 corridor.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really love it.
How far is it from Fort Collins?
It's about 3 to 3.5 hours, and the whole drive you're just driving through the Poudre Canyon, which is
So
beautiful in
beautiful.
itself. So yeah,
Um, when RFD still owned the Cowboy Channel, one of the rodeos that I had a sideline at was Estes Park or
yeah,
Estes Rodeo, and I had never been there because I'd been to Steamboat, Breckenridge, obviously all for cattle sales.
yeah.
But Estes Park was beautiful too. I was like, wow, never been
Yeah,
here.
Estes Park is a little more touristy. We don't really get out there as much, even though it's like an hour away. But so sometimes, like I like to take out of towners there because
Yeah,
it is.
I bet. And how far is Breckenridge from y'all? Because again, I mean, I know it's a higher elevation, but it's pretty too. I thought it was
Yeah,
cool.
it really depends on I-70 traffic. I mean, it
Oh,
could be 3 to 6 hours. Who
well,
knows?
yeah, traffic, gotta love it. Um, okay, well, since I feel like you're probably a foodie, what is your go-to meal? Like, what's your favorite food?
That's hard to pick, but like I love Japanese food, sushi,
Mm,
sashimi,
yeah.
um, any of that stuff. I would love to go to Japan and just like eat my way through Japan.
Oh, everyone says
Um,
it's great there. I've never
yeah,
been
I
there.
also love Mexican food. But yeah, I would say like sushi, Japanese. When I
Do you
was
guys get,
pregnant, that's like all I wanted.
and
Mhm.
you couldn't have that, right? Like you
No.
can't have sushi. Yeah, I was like, I think I knew that. Do you guys get good sushi in Colorado?
Well, we used to have in Fort Collins, it was called Nemo's, and it was this older man like from Japan, but then he recently retired, like I don't
Sad
know,
day.
2 years ago or something, and so he just shut it down. But he was open like Wednesday through Saturday, and it was literally him back there, just him and his son. It was amazing. So I miss that. But yeah, we have a couple of decent sushi spots, and Denver has some good ones. So
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I have been to sushi in Denver.
yeah.
I bet Steamboat. I feel like Steamboat would have like a good, I don't know, mountain towns like that that are like,
That is some of my favorite food. Like there's a bezame. It's like I want to say Spanish or Latin or something like that. Like kind of twist on food. It's so good.
I haven't been there in a long time, but I do remember there was this really beautiful place on the river. I think I could be getting that wrong, but I think there was a
Yeah,
really yummy place on the river back in the day, and it
yeah.
was. I just remember the food. Yeah, it was really, really good. Um, okay, moving on to this game. It's called Buy, Sell, Hold. I'll give you some examples, and you tell me if you'd buy it, sell it, or hold it.
Okay.
Remote work.
Um, yeah, buy it.
Cattle prices. You're like, when?
I know,
Well,
I'm
right
like, don't
now.
ask me market related questions.
Yeah, you're
It's
like,
too crazy.
play the fifth. Which we already kind of talked about this one, but AI in agriculture and ranching.
Buy, buy, buy.
I like that take. Small towns.
Buy.
Yeah. Carbon markets.
I don't know.
I know. I'm like, I can't answer that one. I don't know. Networking events.
Old.
Yeah, you're like, commodity apps.
Like what?
I know. What are the commodity apps?
I don't know.
I know. I'm like, I don't know either. Farmers on TikTok. Ranchers on TikTok.
Oh,
Make
I
some
mean,
funny ones.
the more exposure our industry gets, the better.
Better. Yeah. Electric trucks.
I mean, sell.
Yeah. You're like, also, I'm not taking the time to plug that in, so that's not on,
Yeah,
no
wouldn't work
sweat
for
on
me
your part.
personally, but
Yeah. Coffee addiction.
I mean, I wish I didn't have it.
I think it's
Um,
bad for you. I know
yeah,
people
it's
say it is
fine. We'll
sometimes.
hold.
Yeah. Side hustles.
I mean, as long as it's not interfering with your everyday job, sure.
Like, get after it. Um, Cowboy hats at corporate meetings.
I like, people can wear what they want to wear. Bye.
Yeah, you know what? Let people be people. Okay, this one's called opportunity or disaster. Are the ideas below $1 million opportunity, a guaranteed disaster, or somehow both? So here we go. Buying land with friends.
Oh, I mean, I would recommend buy land no matter what. So I guess I'm gonna say, I mean, it could be potentially both, I guess.
Yeah, but overall, I guess if it's a good
We're not making any more land, so
that, always that. Hiring family.
again, potentially both.
Yeah. Hosting outdoor events.
Yeah, great.
You like do it. Depending on rural Wi-Fi.
Oh, probably not so great.
No, I know in my experience it's not. Owning chickens.
Well, I know several people who own chickens. It sounds great in theory, but then you like, what are you doing with all these eggs once they start really like they're overproducing and then you're trying to give them away and you can't even give them away. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems like I'd rather just go pay $3 at the grocery store for my eggs.
Amen. Quitting your stable job to start a business.
Power to you.
You're like, good luck. Networking on LinkedIn every day.
No.
Working with your spouse.
Could be risky.
Could be very risky. Buying expensive office chairs.
Oh, absolutely. Do it.
Yeah, if you're sitting in them all day, you gotta want
Yeah,
to be nice.
I actually send my boss, I'll just be scrolling, Instagram or whatever, and you get targeted with some outrageous but comfy looking chair. I'll send it to him.
I like
Yeah,
that.
fingers crossed someday I get a $5,000 office chair.
Jordan, you heard that here. If you win the award and you're listening to this, Jordan, guess what? Emily got all those people to vote for you. So get the
Hmm.
chair.
Yeah.
Starting a side hustle during busy season.
I just don't, you're probably spreading yourself too thin and probably at the detriment of your job that's actually paying you.
Okay, yep. And this is the last game. And then I didn't realize, I mean, wow, we're already almost out of time. But this is called commodity chaos. What would happen if these random things became tradable commodities? Who would control the market?
Okay.
Interesting. What would happen if these, yeah, random things became tradable commodities? Who would control the market? Sleep.
Ugh. Like young, single,
Kidless.
professionals, probably. Yeah, like kidless people. Gosh, yeah, really took it for granted. Maybe old people, like
Yeah.
nursing homes.
PTO days.
Probably, what, Gen Zers? They like really, really like to take all their, which is good, great for them.
Gas station pizza. Truckers.
Fraternity
Oh,
kids.
oh, fraternity kids. I'm all truckers. No.
Yeah.
Weather luck.
Weather luck.
Yeah.
Weddings? I don't know. I feel like it always tends to work out, doesn't it?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that was a good one. Internet service in rural America.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
The government, hopefully,
Yeah.
get some out
Anybody,
there.
anybody to make it better. Babysitters during harvest season for farmers.
Well, teenage girls.
Yeah. The neighbor. Sarcasm.
Me.
There you go. You heard it here. Ranch dogs.
Farmers' wives and little girls.
Yeah. And the children.
So I'm like my nieces always finagle more dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Patience.
Mothers of toddlers.
And employees of Jewish bosses. No, I'm just kidding. Local gossip.
The old men at the filling station.
Or the ones at the sale barn, just sitting there
Yeah.
talking about, well, you know what I heard.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that rounds up our games. And again, we're almost out of time. But I think for anyone, again, we never have enough time on these things to really get into the nitty gritty or dig as deep as we could. But for anybody that is like listening and they're a female who wants to be in a position like you're in the cattle business and obviously has an interest in finance or just in any capacity to be in the industry, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think just like we kind of said at the beginning, it's like you really don't understand how many tentacles this industry has. And like if you're not specifically interested in cattle feeding, it's like, well, maybe you're interested in something else. Maybe there's something on the technology side of things you could do. Maybe you're an accountant. Well, guess who needs accountants feed yards? You know, like there's kind of something for everyone. And I mean, this is like the most cliche thing to say, but like we're literally feeding the world, and it just makes me so proud personally. And I know that a lot of people really find joy in working in something that, you know, they're passionate about and that they can feel good about. And I just am so thankful and happy that I am in this industry. So yeah, if you feel intimidated or think it's not for you, like I just really would reconsider that, because I think that we're actually like a very open and inviting industry, and there's definitely room for you. And yeah, we would love to have you. So
Yeah, I always agree. There's room for people, and there's room if people are in it to grow and learn and expand their roles in this industry. I want to go back to this for a second because of what you said like earlier about this wasn't your trajectory or your path originally. But how grateful and thankful are you to be in this industry, knowing it's also such a huge part of who you are and your upbringing of who you are?
yeah. Well, and just the fact that like I just feel so thankful. Like I got to do business with my dad, who now literally this month is retiring, but like for the last 15 years, I got to do business with my dad and my brother, who are in Canada, who like I don't get to see that often, but I got to trade cattle with them, and we get to, you know, bounce ideas off each other. And I just think that that's so special and cool. And yeah, again, never thought that I would ever be doing this just growing up, but here I am, and I'm so grateful that I ended up here.
Yeah. Well, great words of advice. And it's so awesome to hear your story. I think, again, it's inspiring for a lot of females and men, though, to listen to this and like understand this wasn't what you thought you were going to be doing, but it's so cool that you are doing it. And it's your way of obviously, like you said, still kind of working with family, which is so special. And you're never going to take that time for granted, I know. And you're going to look back on that one day and be super, super glad that you took this path. We like to end the show with, because it is Dirt Diaries. If you had a diary or a journal and you were going to write, Dear Diary, for you, I'm going to change it up a little bit because, you know, you have a 2-year-old. If you were going to write Dear Diary and it was, you know, your future self, but writing to your child and just about your life experience and in this industry and outside of this industry, what would you want it to say? What would you want your child to read?
Gosh.
You're like, way to make the last one heavy.
I know. Yeah, just I don't I don't know. Um,
You're
I'm
like,
like I'm
don't
writing
go,
to
like, don't go through the terrible threes. No.
my future self, or
Yeah, you could write one to your future self too,
my
but like,
past self. Who
oh,
am I
or
talking?
your past self. You can, yeah. But I mean, but yeah, either way, like if it was just like almost like a how-to guide, like, you know, to get through life, like don't sweat the small stuff. Like it's all gonna work out kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no need to get so worked up over a load of cattle that maybe isn't the best. We don't need to yell at people. Um, and yeah, just ride out those highs and lows in the industry, and it'll all work out. You just got to stick with it and remain disciplined, and it'll you'll just ride the wave and it'll all work out.
think that's great. Well, Emily, thank you so much. I'm glad we got to pull you away. I mean, but it is later in the afternoon. I mean, most of your work, I feel like, is done in the morning probably, right?
For sure.
But you're
Yeah.
working all
Market
day long.
hours. Market
Yeah.
hours usually. Yeah.
That's what ties you up. But again, we are so appreciative of you coming on this episode of Dirt Diaries. And for all of our viewers and listeners, we'll see you same time next week. Ta-da. That's it for today's episode of Dirt Diaries, where the women of ag leave no story untold. If you loved what you heard, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone else. Until next time, keep showing up, speaking out, and getting your hands dirty.